Welcome everyone to the meeting of the Tahoe Truckee Unified School District Board of Trustees. Today is August 18th, 2021. The board did meet in closed session this evening. We took no reportable action in closed session. We will go ahead, because we're remote, we will waive the Pledge of Allegiance this evening. And we will move on to approval of the agenda. So do we have any changes to this evening's agenda, Superintendent Geisels?
No, President Zurich, we don't.
Thank you. So next we have public comment. Do we have anyone on the Google Meet for public comment, Lupita?
No, we don't, not public comment. And I was wondering if we should approve the agenda first.
Oh, you know, I did this last meeting too. There must be something about doing that I'm missing. Would someone like to move approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. And this is Dee Dee without a face in case anyone needs to know.
Yeah.
I can't get my camera to work.
Thank you, Dee Dee. I appreciate you saying that because it is part of these meetings that we are supposed to be on camera. So we know that you're having technical difficulties. So thank you so much for reminding us. So do I have a second on approving the agenda?
Yeah, I'll second.
All in favor, please.
Aye.
I think we need to do Lupita, do we need to do a roll call?
Yes, we do. Okay, so President Zurich,
Yes.
Clerk Clarkson,
Yes.
Member Driller,
Yes.
Member Hennessy,
Yes.
Member Levac.
Yes.
Thank you all. Okay, so public comment. I believe I heard we did not have anyone on the line for public comment. I will acknowledge that we did receive written public comment prior to the meeting, which we all receive and read. So thank you very much. We appreciate that. So we are going to move on next to our superintendent's report. Superintendent Geisels.
Thank you, President Zurich. As we all know, and we're very excited that school starts in less than 2 weeks, which is Tuesday, August the 31st. And we are very excited and can't wait to welcome back our students to school in person. We have a back to school fact sheet on our website, and it's all the information that you need to know. And please check that. We ask parents to check that because it's always current, because information evolves from day to day. We will also have updating quarantine protocols, and that will come out to everyone before school starts about what we would do if a student or a staff member tests positive for COVID. The universal masking update in California is for all TK-12 settings. For us to open in person, we will have to follow this mandate. Masks are required when indoors, when students are on campus, regardless of vaccination status. And masks are currently optional outdoors at this time, but based on current COVID case data regarding the Delta variant, we may have to change based on what CDC and CDPH decide to do. So that is what I meant about ever evolving. As you know, Governor Newsom announced the new requirement for all California teachers and school staff, which would also include our volunteers, to be vaccinated or submit weekly coronavirus testing and show proof of that negative test result. We will have a protocol developed for our employees and our staff and our volunteers regarding this. We are also following CDPH guidelines. Distancing is not a requirement at this time, so we are removing the desk shields that classrooms have been put in place. However, desk shields are available upon request, and we would ask that parents would contact their site principals if they have any questions about that. We are excited about opening back up in school. And again, as things evolve, as you know, Nevada County is putting in a health order for face coverings on Friday. We will try our best to follow that as well as CDPH and CDC guidelines. So that's all I have for now, President Zurich, but we're excited and ready to roll for school.
I am so excited for school. Yay. Thank you very much, Superintendent Geisels. So next we actually have 2 items on the consent agenda. Does staff need to pull any items from the consent agenda?
No, we do not.
Would any board members like to pull any items from the consent agenda? Would someone like to move approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Sorry, I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Lupita.
Member Jack?
Was that me?
Yes.
Yes. Aye.
Member Hennessy?
Aye.
Member Driller?
Yes.
Clerk Larson?
Yes.
President Zurek?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have the second read and adoption of proposed revisions to the board policy in regards to independent study. Superintendent Geisels.
Yes, this is to reflect our new law, AB 130, that just came out July 9th. And Ms. Simpson is going to talk about this board policy as well as the administrative regulation. Ms. Simpson? You're on mute, Ms.
I'm a little rusty. Yes, so both this board policy and the administrative regulation address the independent study criteria that is new for this school year as we reviewed at our last board meeting. And we have an update for you as well as to what our options are. And if there are no questions about the board policy or the administrative regulation, I'd be happy to share that update.
For form's sake, I guess I would like to have, unless other board members disagree, if you could share the update, please.
Yes.
And then we'll consider the policy. And,
Okay.
because your update will inform our discussion, I believe, on the regulations.
Perfect. Yes. Okay, here we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. All right, everybody can see that. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, this is an update to the first presentation the last board meeting regarding AB 130 independent study for the 21-22 school year. And as mentioned before, just a little bit of review. We are offering and providing daily in-person learning for all of our students with normal school hours for all students, grades transitional K through 12th grade, and student attendance is required. The purpose of this information tonight is to provide you with not only a quick overview of Assembly Bill 130, but also to provide you an update as to where we are in the process of providing this for our students. Again, the purpose of this program, it's being made available to students, whose health would be put at risk by in-person instruction. And at this point, so this is actually a little bit of an update right here. At this point, what is available, we have been able to partner with our county office of education, Placer County Office of Education, and they are able to provide access to their iLearn program for our TK through 8 students. Unfortunately, they're not able to provide any access for our high school students. They actually have a waiting list for students for that program for the high school. So at this moment in time, we have been able to accommodate any high school student requesting this through our Cold Stream Alternative program. And Principal Greg Woolman has been just amazing in reaching out to each one of those families individually to see what we can do to support them, either within our district or in some cases, how can we support them in enrolling in a district that's closer to their home if they're living in Washoe. So just a review of important dates and the process that we've taken. I shortened the timeline just a little bit just to take you through when the bill was first enacted, just a little over a month ago, right? Which is amazing. We've had our public hearing, we've notified parents. What I'd like to call everybody's attention to, August 12th was the deadline for parents to respond to our interest or enrollment Google form that went out. August 16th was actually the first day of the Placer County iLearn program. And they did know that we were having our parent night last night, and they are standing ready to take our students as the parents complete the forms, and we're forwarding to them. So last night we had our parent information night, and parents were provided the Pcoe referral form. Here we are tonight providing an update. Friday we meet with TTEA leadership to review this, and then as of August 31st, we must have something in place. So a little bit about the process. We shared this with our parents last night. So based on our meeting with Placer County Office of Education on Monday, August 16th, we did learn the process for our students whose parents are interested in enrolling them. So what happens is, if a parent's interested in enrolling their child, they complete the Placer County form that I've referenced already. They are actually then disenrolled from Tahoe Truckee Unified School District and then become a Placer County Office of Education iLearn student for the school year. We are asking parents to commit for the whole year on this iLearn program because it's in the best interest of their child to have a consistent and stable program. We do get a lot of questions about the second bullet. So yes, students may access extracurricular outside of school events via a district school. We'll do our best to accommodate access to those extracurriculars to the school that the child would be returning to the next school year. I also want to put a little caveat right there, as we discussed last night with the parents, that it's not as simple with the COVID mitigations to just access extracurricular. So accessing extracurricular requires frequent testing and lots of different things. So I just want to let parents know that. And what we, working with our business guru, Todd Rivera, we have determined that the cost per student for sending our students to Placer County runs somewhere between $8,000 and $9,000 per student. So that was for our TK through 8th grade. As I mentioned, Placer County is not able to accommodate our high school students. And we have been able to meet the students' needs actually via either Sierra High School in some cases or through Coldstream. And that our ability to provide access with Sierra and or Coldstream, it may change depending on the needs of the students. But at this moment in time, we're able to accommodate the students. The other part that I want to say too, related to this process, is that any student that has an IEP or a 504, we are required to hold an IEP and or a 504 team meeting prior to the parent actually enrolling them there, or actually even submitting the form to Placer County. That's also true for our high school students. So we do have some students right now that I know that Student Services and our special ed team is working diligently to get those IEPs scheduled as quickly as possible. So that's another piece there. And an update, we had 6 parents attend the information session out of about 20 parents that expressed interest. All of the TK through 8th grade parents, actually all the parents who expressed interest, have been sent the recording of the information night, and they also were sent the Pcoe referral form. Again, that referral form is only for students that are transitional K through 8th grade. As of this afternoon, we did have one parent who submitted the referral form, an 8th grade parent, and we have forwarded that form already to our contact at Placer County. So next steps are to continue to make sure I'm monitoring my emails, follow up again with parents later at the end of this week, which is almost in the middle. Continue to monitor the forms as we're receiving them. What I'm doing in that process too is as a form comes in, I'm also notifying the school, the attendance secretary and the administrative secretary, and then CCing the principal to let them know that they can now not necessarily drop yet, but anticipate communication from Placer County so that we can kind of finish the transition. So I'll just be able to continue to monitor that. And as I mentioned, IEP team and 504 team meetings are quickly in the works. And I know people are working on getting those on the schedules. So that is our update.
Thank you, Val. Questions from the board members?
I just have one question that just popped into my head as I was watching this presentation. You know, the deadline of August 12th, Val, is that so like, say for example, if a family just becomes aware of this option as we get closer to school starting and they are wanting to get their child in, even though the deadline is passed, how are we going to handle that that kind of parent problem?
That is a great question. So our goal by having this, like I'm going to say like a first wave of interest was to start the process of communicating what we have available at this time. Parents can request this throughout the school year, and that's something that we have yet to figure out. Honestly, we're really struggling with that because I think I may have mentioned it at our last meeting was, you know, for me, it's, you know, we want students to have a very consistent education. And if a parent is going to be, you know, I just think, you know, commit to the in-person or commit to the online if there's a health condition. And so that's where we're just really struggling. And then how do we provide those per the law?
Thank you, Carmen. Superintendent Geisels.
What I wanted to share also is the law requires us to have almost literally an open door policy, Trustee LeBach. So that's what we have to do. It's really not, as an educational philosophy, not in the best interest of a child to be pivoting back and forth between an in-person, which is our district, and then going to another county offering. So we're hoping that, and we know our parents are really thinking this through and very, very considerate of the decisions that they're making. But the law does require us to offer some option throughout the entire school year for 21-22, if that helps any.
Thank you. Other board questions? I have a question. Mr. Rivera, how much do we spend of general fund per student in the district?
Yeah, if you compare our revenue sources on a per pupil basis, what PCO would be charging us in this instance is the LCFF amount, which for our LCFF sources, that's property taxes. So if you take our property taxes and divide it by the total enrollment of our students, it would be approximately $13,451.
Okay, all right. My concern in asking that question is like having a disproportionate cost related to providing the independent study for a limited number of folks. That being said, we know having one student come out of a classroom doesn't decrease our costs at all. Is that or very negligibly correct? There's no, that we don't actually, you know, because we still have the same amount of teachers, theoretically, the same bus service, et cetera, et cetera. So it will be additional cost to the school district.
Yes.
Okay. And then Ms. Simpson, I appreciate your research that you did on the previous board question that we actually do have to pass an AR and a I'm blanking on the other initial. I have to look up the
Board policy.
board policy. Thank you. Woo. before school starts. So I was somewhat hesitant to do that because I wanted to make sure that we really had this put to bed before we obliged ourselves to anything. And I guess I'm going to hold in my thoughts that if we come across a situation that we need to amend the board policy or the AR, I would look to doing that. So no other questions. Any public comment on either of these items, Lupita?
There are no public comments on these items.
So I will make a comment then, if we can move on right before we vote. You guys, once again, are amazing and blowing me away, staff, on the work that you have done on this issue that was just foisted on us in surprise amongst all of the other things that you all are trying to do to get school started this year. So the amount of work that you have done is just over the top. So I can't appreciate you enough for doing that. And coming out to what appear to be some solutions that will work for kids who need these services. And so I so appreciate that. Dee Dee Driller, you raised your hand. Would you like to make a comment?
I was just going to say thank you for saying that, but I think Kim speaks for all of us. And when she says I think it's all of us, that we all appreciate everything that happened in such a expedient fashion. So I just wanted to put us in there as well.
Thank you, Dee Dee. I just don't want to be presumptuous. So would someone like to make a motion? Really, we need the motion on the, sorry, let me get back to my agenda right here. So what we need the motion on is 11.1, I guess both. Is that right, Superintendent Geisels?
Yes, 11.1 and 11.2
Okay.
To proceed with PCOE.
Okay. So would someone like to start making with a motion on 11.1?
I'll make a motion to approve 11.1.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I will call for roll call. Member Levac,
Yes.
Member Hennessy,
Yes.
Member Driller,
Yes.
Clerk Larson,
Yes.
President Zurich.
Yes.
Thank you.
Would someone like to make a motion on 11.2?
I'll make a motion on 11.2.
I'll second.
Member Levac,
Yes.
Member Hennessy,
Yes.
Member Driller,
Yes.
Clerk Larson,
Yes.
President Zurich.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Well, that takes care of our business this evening. Thank you. Next, we have comments of board members. Ms. Driller, would you like to start?
Sure. I have volunteered to get myself into Tahoe Lake to help set up things and just try to help get organized there. And then I haven't spoken to any other classes yet, but that's my mission, is to go check it out and see if I can help. But no, I'm really excited that we're moving forward. And I think that all the work that's done on the backside to make it so that we can actually get our schools open has been tremendous. And I think everybody has got to just be so overjoyed and happy that our priority is to get our kids in the classrooms. And I think that's this team behind the screens all here has done a phenomenal job at getting us there. And also with all of the stuff that happened prior to us getting out of this mess to just stay in it. I don't know how the energy is still going, but I just want to say that I'm really impressed with our team.
Sorry, Ms. Levac?
I'll just piggyback on that, Dee Dee. I'm really just stupefied and completely blown away at and really just want to acknowledge the positivism that everybody continues to maintain. Your executive cabinet, Carmen, is phenomenal. And everybody has a win-win attitude. So, I mean, yesterday was phenomenal. It was really nice to just all be able to kind of get some cohesion around how we're going to move forward, and passing it down to managers, the principals, and staff, everybody. I'm just looking forward to getting off to a nice, good start, and just being as positive and optimistic about providing the best educational program for our students and scholars that we can. Everybody, congratulations. Great work. Great work.
Well said. Thank you, Kirsten. Mr. Larson?
Just when my phone rings. I'd just like to say that this evening I observed Todd Rivera in the detail of every question he gets asked. He goes down, not quite to the cents, but to the dollar. But I was particularly impressed with the possible power shutdown and the detail of how he knew that happened, including, well, usually they take 16 hours minimum to get back online. I mean, I'm thinking, how does he know all this stuff? And then Kim asked him this question about, well, how much do we get per student? How much do we pay? Right down to the dollar. I say, well, Todd, I'm continually impressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Hennessy?
Let's see. So yesterday I participated with all of you in the annual governance meeting where we just get to catch up, work through things, plan things. So I was happy for that. I also signed up to visit some schools with Superintendent Geisels here in the fall. So I'm very excited about this because it's been way too long. And I have to share, I had a funny interaction with an incoming freshman at Truckee High School this afternoon when I was in Truckee, and the conversation was about how he's walking into a college campus because that school is so awesome looking now. And his mom, who's a Truckee graduate, said, yep, it doesn't look like a prison anymore. So that was kind of fun, and just thank you to everyone who voted for the upgrades to all of our schools. But yeah, that's it for me, and I'm also very grateful and thankful for the executive cabinet and every single school site who now has secretaries coming in and principals and assistant principals working and just getting ready for our students. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks. Ditto to you all on the positivity. I do have a concern because of all the changes that are going on with COVID right now and kind of a resurgence that we will continue to have multiple changes that all of our staff will be dealing with, every staff member. The cabinet's been dealing with it all summer, and as we bring our staffs back on and our teachers and all of our classified staff, I'm asking any parent and any staff member who is listening to just remember that we made it through last year and we're starting off better, but we're going to continue to be nimble and kind to each other as we go through this again, because unfortunately, I think it's going to be more stressful related to COVID than we were all hoping it would be. So we'll keep it up. You guys are amazing. So thank you so much. And with that, we'll be adjourned for this evening.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.